Paleo Luna is one of the strongest heroes in Fortnite Save the World. However, what if I was to tell you that you and everyone else are playing Paleo Luna completely wrong? That everyone is ignoring the very thing that makes Paleo Luna the goddess of melees. But to be a goddess means to be immortal, yet no one has figured out a way to create an actual tank build. Until now. I'm Lyrix-x, and in this video I will show you my Divine Knight Paleo Luna build, which is the very first and only true tank build in Fortnite's Save the World. This loadout will allow you to continuously fight in swarms of bees, take shots from gunslingers and blasters, or get smacked from smashers and bosses without even losing a fraction of health. And would you believe me if I told you that the damage output of this build is far superior than the builds recommended by everyone else? First, let's address the elephant in the room. I am not saying that your Paleo Luna builds suck, or that they don't work. Honestly, any Paleo Luna build is strong enough to withstand the endgame's 160 missions. The point I'm going to make is that the vast majority of recommended Paleo Luna builds are all focused around stacking up damage, but at the expense of being extremely fragile, which in itself contradicts her unique and extremely strong perk. Saurian claws add 9% of current health to melee weapons damage, ultimately meaning if you are fragile and can't maintain a high current health, then as your health diminishes, likewise, your damage diminishes. And with that, this perk is not showcasing its full potential. Let me paint you a picture. These fragile, non-tanky recommended Luna builds go into a fight and get decent damage on the first few husks they attack. However, their damage quickly diminishes as they start taking damage themselves. I mean, look at how fast her health depletes. They then struggle to maintain half health and are constantly having to retreat from the fight to throw down a healing pad or take a coconut, or worse, wait for their teammate to come and revive them. Try to be honest with yourself and watch your own gameplay if you don't believe this. And again, there is nothing wrong with these builds. They work. But it isn't what I picture when I think of a melee build. To me, a melee build should be a tank. Now with my Divine Knight Paleo Luna build, my max health is nearly 1,700,000, and it never gets below 1,300,000 no matter how many husks are attacking me, or swarms of bees I'm fighting in, or gunslingers and blasters are shooting me. I am literally immortal, hence the Divine title. An absolute tank with high damage resistance, hence the Knight title. And because of this, my damage output is consistently over 200,000 per attack. I mean, just watch my gameplay. I am shredding through these power level 250 smashers like a hot knife through butter while taking nearly no damage the entire fight. You might be wondering,
this sounds too good to be true. How can he achieve everything he just claimed?
This is impossible with just the build. The key that brings it all to fruition is the weapons and the weapons perks that work in unison with the build. Okay, enough exposition. Let's break down the build. With Paleo Luna's Commander perk, add 9% of current health to melee weapons damage, the Blast from the Past team perk is truly the only option if you want to have optimal synergy. Some people will say totally rocking out is an option, but man, they are completely missing the mark. In order to activate the Blast from the Past team perk, the build requires 2 dinosaur heroes. Prehistoric Iza grants Saurian Hide, which increases armor by 33. This is roughly about 25% total damage resistance. And most Luna builds stop at this point. Spoiler alert. By the end of my build, the total damage resistance will be between 70 to 80%. And this is the pillar of how my build is so overpowered. The second dino hero is Triceratops Ramirez, which will regenerate 2.125 of max health every 4 seconds. Now, receiving 36,000 health every 4 seconds isn't very impressive. However, it is something, and she is unfortunately the only other dino hero that synergizes well with Luna. Blue Streak Ken is a founder's reskin of Assassin Sarah, and they both give the support perk Assassination. Dealing melee weapon damage increases damage by 4.5% for 5 seconds and can stack 5 times, which is basically a permanent damage buff of 22.5%. For my build, Dennis is a phenomenal source to regenerate lost health. Eliminations have an 8% chance to drop a burger, and these burgers grant 53 base health and 5 energy every second for 3 seconds. That doesn't sound like a lot, but when your max health is 1.7 million, that 53 base health is actually massive. Just watch this clip, where my health goes from 1.3 million to full health in less than 3 seconds after picking up one of them tasty looking burgers. That's over 300,000 regenerated health just like that. Fumbles is the last support perk in my build, and it comes from Varsity Hero. Eliminated enemies have a 7% chance to fumble a football, and these footballs grant Rock and Riff, which increase damage by 50% and melee attack speed by 32% for 8 seconds. So while I'm constantly active in the fight killing husks, they are dropping burgers and footballs, and I am picking them up without even realizing I'm doing so. It is actually the perfect synergy between Dennis and Varsity Hero. As far as which gadgets to use, pick your favorite. It doesn't really matter. I like Slow Field to lock down a boss or to stall husk while replacing a defensive structure that got destroyed. And Adrenaline is great for reviving down teammates or if you need a quick heal, which by the way, in my build, you never will. But it's nice to have in your back pocket for emergencies. So now that I have gone over the heroes and their support perks, let's take a look at the weapons and the weapon perks, which are essential for creating this tank build. The primary weapon for my Divine Knight Paleo Luna build is the Guardian's Will. This weapon is insane. It is so much fun to use. I want to talk about the 6th perk first. Hitting an enemy with this weapon grants +8 armor for 5 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. Now with the attack speed being 0.32 seconds, that means you'll get 3 hits in 1 second. So the 5 stack accumulates very quickly and is basically a permanent +40 armor. When you add the other +40 armor perk from this weapon, and then the +33 armor perk from Prehistoric Iza, you possess an astonishing 113 total armor. This is why the damage resistance is close to 75%, which therefore allows you to consistently maintain a high current health. This directly correlates to why the damage per second output is over 600,000. Now in my testing, I tried various versions of this weapon, starting with double attack speed, triple armor, to really lean into the damage resistance theme. However, I found that adding one more +40 armor was overkill, and actually less effective overall because armor isn't linear and has diminishing returns. I've concluded that the God-rolled Guardian's Will for this build is double armor perks, that's including the 6th perk. Double attack speed, which accumulates stacks of both armor and assassination damage from Blue Streak Ken or Assassin Sarah, and 1 damage perk to consistently attack for damage over 200,000 per swing and 600,000 per second. Sir Lancelot is another medieval weapon that fits the theme, but more importantly has a specific role in my Divine Knight Paleo Luna build. As the secondary weapon, this spear's heavy attack will do a lunging thrust, knocking down any husk in its path. This includes Riot Shield's Husky Husks, which are a direct counter to melee weapons. So gameplay wise, I switched to the Sir Lancelot against Riot Shield Husks, and then switched back to the Guardian's Will once I dispose of them. For the Divine Knight Paleo Luna build, the God-rolled perks for Sir Lancelot are almost an exact copy to the Guardian's Will. The only difference is that the Guardian's Will has a damage perk, but with Sir Lancelot inheriting a 25% critical hit chance, it would be beneficial to switch the damage perk to a critical damage perk. I'm Lyrix-x, and I come from a Dungeons & Dragons background and play Souls-like video games where creating a loadout that is unique, fun, and full of synergy is what I'm good at and what I love to do. I am so proud of this build and excited to share it to everyone who watches my videos. This is only my 2nd video, but it's my first loadout video, and I wanted to get this out because Paleo Luna is currently available in the Tales from Beyond questline, but will be leaving September 3rd, 2025 when the new season starts. My next video will be an educational commentary video where I explain my thought process while I play a solo 160 evacuate the shelter as this build, the Divine Knight Paleo Luna build. Now, if you'd like what I'm bringing to the Save the World community, then consider subscribing. It's literally free. Hit the like button, it takes less than a second to do, and post a comment because I'd love to respond to everyone. It's up to all of us to keep Save the World alive. Thank you.